All right, there we go. I think it's working. All righty. So the fundamental steps in isolating the variable come down to applying properties of equality. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Whether you're adding the same thing to both sides, subtracting the same things, multiplying, dividing, it doesn't matter. So we just have to make sure that whatever we do on one side, we do to the other. The only difference is that now we have variables on both sides. So every time you solve an equation that has variables on both sides, you need to ask yourself, what do you want to move first? I would always take care of the variable term first. I would always take care of the variable term first. So I'm going to ask you, do you want to move the 6 in or do you want to move the 3 in? Lysandro, you're looking at me, so I'm guessing you have an idea. Sure. Does it matter which one we move first? No, it doesn't. We're going to get the same answer either way. We're going to get the same answer either way. I like to deal with positive variable terms versus negative, so I always move the smaller variable term, but you don't have to. That's just how my brain likes it, okay? So what is 6n minus 3n, Brianne? 6n minus 3n is 6 minus 3 is 3n. Yeah, I think I said Brianne, didn't I? Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it, hon. So 3n plus 3 equals, this goes away, 4. Aiden, how do you want to get that 3 moved to the other side? Subtract 3 from both sides. So 3n equals, let's see, 4 minus 3 is 1. Last step, Daniel. How do I get n all by itself? Divide both sides by 3. Usually when we get right about here, you guys are like, oh my gosh, something's wrong. If you were to put this into your calculator, because most of you use a calculator, what's 1 divided by 3? It's a 0.3 repeating, right? Do we solve for repeating decimals? Never. Never, ever. So what do we do with our answer? Keep it as a fraction. We just need to make sure that our fraction is reduced, and 1 over 3 is reduced. That's as small as that'll go, okay? So we're never going to solve for repeating decimal unless the directions tell us to round our answers. And that would be like for a real world scenario. This is just a math, this is just a math equation. So we're not going to do any kind of rounding. All righty, example B. Kenna, what do you want to do first? We need to move the variable term. Which one do you want to move? You get to choose. Okay, good idea. I always move the smallest one first. So what's the opposite of negative 3? So we're going to add 3x to both sides. Add 3x to both sides. So let's see, 5x plus 3x is 8x. Good job, Michelle. 8x plus 6 equals 2. So now what are we going to move, Avery? Subtract the 6 from both sides. I love that. Subtract the 6. So that gives me 8x equals, let's see, 2 take away 6 is negative 4. Last step, Ariana, what do you want to do? Divide both sides by 8. So right now I have x equals negative 4 over 8. Can I reduce that fraction? What do you think, Owen? To negative 1/2. Yeah, it sounds to me like you divided both the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, by 4. So x really equals negative 1/2. So if you don't reduce your fraction, am I going to count it wrong? I'm going to take a 0.5 point off. Okay, and I'll just circle it and write RED, period, for like reduce. Okay, RED. All righty, let's look at let's look at example C. I love sitting in this short chair. I don't know why. It's just comforting for me. So, Victoria, you're up. What do you want to do first? We always want to take care of the variable first. Which one do you want to move? Okay, so that's a positive 2m. How do I cancel that out? We're going to subtract it. Okay, so let's see. I have 12, a negative 8, and a negative 2. The signs are the same, so we add them together and keep the sign. Negative 10m. Good job. Equals a positive 2. Michelle, what do you want to do next? What would you do? We have to get rid of this. How are we going to move that? So we're going to subtract the 12 from both sides. We're going to subtract it. Do you guys see that? I'm going to erase my little line under there because I don't want you to think I'm dividing. We're going to subtract 12 from both sides. That's a positive 12, so we're going to subtract it. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other, right? So I would say a big mistake that we make quite often is we forget that we have to include the sign in front of our variable term. Make sure that you include the sign in front of your variable term. Sometimes you guys forget that, and I call it dropping a negative. So I'll write, oops, you dropped your negative. 2 minus 12, well, that's negative 10. So I have negative 10m equals negative 10. Isaac, what do you want to do to finish this up? By what? By what? Good job, negative 10. So m equals 1. That's perfect. How do we feel about that? Good? Okay. So those are just basic moving variable term from one side to the next, moving the constant from one side to the next, and then isolating your variable. When we look at these next 3 examples, I think that we have some distribution taking place. Okay? But we should just be able to fly right through these because this is really what you guys did to solve those consecutive integer problems, right? So let's see. If I look at example A, I have 2 times the quantity x plus 3 equals x plus 11. Daniel, what do you want to do first? What's the first thing that you want to do, Daniel? Yeah, we have to multiply everything inside of that parenthesis by 2. So 2 times x is, and 2 times a positive 3 is, all righty, equals x plus 11. Kenna, what do you want to do next? Minus that 1x from both sides, or minus the x? I love that. So 2x minus 1x is just 1x. Bring down my positive 6 equals 11. Oh, and what do you want to do next?
I'm going to subtract the 6.
Good job. Subtract the 6 from both sides. I love that. And when I subtract the 6 from both sides, I think I find out that x equals 5. Yeah, thank you, Lissandro. Good job. X equals 5. How do we feel about that? Is there anything on there that's like, ooh, I don't understand that? You feel okay about it, Avery? Yeah? Okay, so Avery, you tell me an example B. What do you want to do first? Yeah, so you are multiplying, right? So I'm going to show that. 5 times n is 5n, and you said 5 times negative 2 is minus 10. Good job. Equals 2n plus 17. Okay. Yari, do you have an idea of what you want to do next? No? Okay. Tyler, what about you? What do you want to do? If I want to move the variable term first, which one do you want to move? Tyler? Okay, how am I going to move that 2 in? Right now it's positive. I'm going to subtract it, right? Because we do the opposite operation. Guys, I think I told you this yesterday. When I specifically call on someone and you shout out answers, you're actually stealing an opportunity for them to learn. Let's not do that, okay?
Please excuse this interruption, but we had a late bus this morning, bus 253. They have arrived, so please allow them to go to class. Bus 253, late bus has arrived.
That should be Tim's bus. So 5 minus 2 is 3 in. Bring down my negative 10 equals 17. All right, Lysandro, what do you want to do next? Add 10 on both sides. And when I do that, Lysandro, what do I get? So 3n equals 27. Can you finish it out? No? Oh, yeah. Finish it out for us. Yeah, divide 3 on both sides, and what'd you get? Which one number is bigger, the 27 or the 3? The 27 is bigger. So if the bigger number is on the top, that means that your answer's going to be a whole number if it's divisible, right? A whole number or larger than 1. So 27 divided by 3 is just 9. It would be 1/9 if it was 3 divided by 27. Okay, good thinking. All right. Ken, I'm putting you on door watch. If you see Tim, just let him in, okay? Thank you, ma'am. All right. Who feels like they can talk us through example C? There's a lot going on here. Okay, do it up, sir. There is a lot going on. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, hang on. So what is 8 times W? Okay. And what is 8 times 10? Okay. And then what are you going to do on the other side? Yeah, we have to distribute again. What is 2 times negative 2W? Negative 4W. And 2 times negative 2 is? All right, Ken, you're up. Can you finish it out for us? Or at least tell us the next step? Positive 4? Positive 4W. Perfect. So positive 4W on both sides gives me 12W plus 80 equals negative 4. You want to keep going, Ken, or you want me to pass it on? Okay. Next step, Victoria. Subtract what? So the 12 is attached to the W. Subtract the 80. Good job. So 12W equals negative 84. Aiden, last step, what do you want to do? When I divide both sides by 12, what do I find out, Aiden? Negative 84 divided by 12 is negative 7. Negative 84 divided by 12 is negative 7. Okay? How do we feel about that? Good? Okay. Flip over to page, I think, 18. Yep. You're welcome. Done? Thank you, sir. Okay. So sometimes equations can be quite lengthy depending on how many manipulations you have to do on each side of the equation. So let's take a look at this equation. Let's see. I feel like I first of all have to distribute. Notice it says rewrite both sides of the equations as binomials in simplest form. So I want to talk about this really fast. This is a vocabulary word. A binomial has two terms. That's all it means. So that means that when we rewrite each side of the equation, we're going to have, what it's telling us is that we're going to be able to do something x plus or minus some number is going to equal something x plus or minus some number. That's what it wants us to do, okay? So that's what it means by rewrite it as two binomials on each side. So we have to do some distributing on both sides of the equal sign, and then we have to combine like terms. And that is a very common instance where you have to distribute and combine like terms. This reminds me of the last two consecutive integer problems that you guys did. So I'm going to just distribute right here. What is 2 times x? 2x. And what is 2 times positive 3? Anyone? 6. And I'm going to finish that equation out. Plus 3x plus 4 equals, and now we're looking at the other side of that equation. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 20 is 40 plus 40. And then bring down the rest of that equation. Minus x minus 6. Okay. So the next thing that we need to look at is combining like terms. So on the left side, I have x's and constants that can be combined. And on the right side, I also have x's and constants that can be combined. So if I were to combine my x's, Tim, we're on page 17. What is 2x plus 3x? Anybody? 2 plus 3 is? So 5x. What is 6 plus 4? Anybody? 10. Good job. On the right side, 2x minus 1x is 1x. And a positive 40 and a negative 6 give me a positive 36. 40 minus 6 is 36. So that's all it wanted us to do right there, is rewrite it as rewrite both sides as binomials. So I have two terms on each side. I have an x term, a constant, x term, a constant. So that's really what question A is asking. Question B says, solve the simplified equation. So I'm going to move that 5x plus 10 equals 1x plus 36, and we're going to solve it. So what do you want to do first, Ariana?
I want to subtract 1x on both sides.
Perfect. Subtract 1x on both sides. Thank you, both sides. So 5x minus 1x is 4x. So 4x plus 10 equals 36. Avery, what do you want to do next? Yeah, subtract the 10 from both sides. Good job. So let's see, that gives me 4x equals 36 minus 10 is 26. Okay. Last step, Daniel. Divide by what? Yeah, divide by 4 on both sides. So x equals 26 over 4. Does that turn into a decimal nicely? What is it? Okay, so that means it equals 6.5 as well. Could I also write it as a reduced fraction? Yes. What does it become as a reduced fraction? When I divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2, I get 13 halves. So either one of the purple answers, 6.5 or 13 halves, is acceptable. Would you get a point taken off or a half a point taken off if you didn't reduce it and left it as 26 over 4? Yeah, you always want to reduce. Your calculator will reduce for you. Your calculator will reduce your fractions. If everybody picks up their calculator, I just want to show you this on your calculator. Pick up your calculator, turn it on, and hit your clear button. And I just want you to put 26 divided by 4 in your calculator. 26 divided by 4. And hit enter. When you do that, what kind of an answer does it give you? 26 divided by 4. What does it give you? Gives you the decimal, right? 6.5. So now I want everyone to hit the math button. Hit the button right here that says math. Hit the math button. And answer choice number 1 says, hey, do you want your answer as a fraction? Do you want your answer as a fraction? Hit yes. Enter or 1. Enter or number 1. What does it do? It takes your fraction, hit enter. It takes your decimal, 6.5, and turns it into a, enter. Turns it into a fraction. So 26 divided by 4. And then math. And then enter. Enter again. Perfect. Okay, do you guys see that? Yeah, everybody sees how to do that? Everybody got the fraction, 13 over 2? Okay, so you can always take your calculator and turn your answer into a decimal, and if it repeats itself, you know you got to revert it back to fraction form, okay? All right, we're almost done. So we're going to do example A together. We're going to do example A together. So, Tim, I know you just walked in, and I'm sorry to do this to you, but if you look at example A, 6 times the quantity n plus 3 plus 2 times the quantity 2n minus 4 equals 3n plus 8, what is the first thing that your brain tells you you're going to have to do? Running out the door is not an option.
Distribute the numbers outside the parentheses.
Yeah, I'm going to have to distribute the numbers outside of the parentheses. 6 times n, 6n, good job, Michelle. 6 times 3, 18, 18. 2 times 2n plus 4n. A positive 2 times a negative 4, negative 8, so I write that as minus 8, equals, let's see, 3 times n is 3n, and 3 times 4, 3 por 8, 24. Okay? Ma'am. Everybody has a different time. Math hallway is going at 9:05. I promise you we're not messing it up, okay? All right, so now what? What do we have to do next? Yeah, we have to combine like terms. 6n plus 4n can be grouped together, but I also have 2 constants, 18 and negative 8. What is 6n plus 4n, Owen? 10n, good job. And a positive 18 and a negative 8? 18 minus 8, Lissandro? Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry. You don't know? 10, good job. A positive 18 and a negative 8, so it's going to be a positive 10. Good job. Equals 3n plus 24. Okay, Brianne, what do you want to do next? Remember, we always want to take care of the variables, so you decide which one do you want to move. You want to move that 3n? How are you going to move that 3n? Well, Yeah, we're going to subtract that 3 in from both sides. Good job. 10 minus 3 is 7, so that gives us 7 in, plus 10 equals 24. All right. Miss Kenna, what do you want to do next? Minus 10 from both sides. So 7 in equals 14. Michelle, last step. Good job, divide 7. We're going to divide 7 on both sides. N equals 2. N equals 2. I want you guys to choose one. A, B, sorry, not A, we already did A. You're going to choose one, B, C, or D. C, Avery said C. Brianne, which one did you say? Hurry, hurry, because everyone's got to choose one to do it. Brianne, you said B? Okay, Victoria. D. Isaac. D. Lissandro. B. Tim. Aiden. Ken. Daniel, not C. Good job, Daniel. Owen. Okay. Michelle. Yaritza. D. Tyler, which one do you want? B. And Ariana? B. And Kenna? Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a 5-minute timer. A 5-minute timer.